Hey guys, welcome back to Joe's RC Corner, and today we're back on the Cricket and we're going to try to fix my mistake on that cowl, so stay tuned guys. Okay guys, so as I mentioned previously, I did make that mistake here along the edging where I cut the cowl a little bit too short, and now there's a nice little gap right in here between the skin and the fiberglass, so I need to get that fixed. And I think the best option to fix that is going to go ahead and increase my gap here just a little bit more and move this back a couple of millimeters. Now I may not get to that stage today because what I'm planning on doing to get this fixed is I got to pull this off. I'm going to uncleco this from the from my hinges down in here, and then we're going to take this, set it off over here on the on some sawhorses, and we are going to put some fiberglass on the inside, and then we're going to bondo the front side here to fill those holes, and then maybe take a little bit of fiberglass and run it along the top there as well. Basically closing that back up and getting that prepped then to re-drill and reinstall back on there with a little bit more back here. And I'm hoping what that will also allow is that'll allow me to put this rubber strip in for anti-chafing along that edge. So that's kind of the plan, guys. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, guys, so welcome back, and just did a little bit of work. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drill the holes first before I fill these other ones in. But I wanted to go ahead and just get this mocked up. So as you can see, now this covers up the gap that I had. I was going to use this as a spacer here, but found out it wasn't quite enough. So we're going to go with this as the gap now. And let me grab my tape measure. Okay, so to make sure I covered up that edge really nicely and give me enough room to put this on the edge, looks like I had to go, let's go on this side, we can get a better measurement here. Let's see in millimeters. So it looks like we're about 2 millimeters away from the spinner back plate, which I still think it should be just fine. Gives me a nice space there, but I think it'll still fit nicely. I don't see it hitting anywhere underneath here. Now the gearbox gets close, but as you can see, there's still light going through there, so that shouldn't be a problem. And on this side as well. And nothing in the way or touching back along here. So I think that's what we're going to go with. So I'm going to go ahead and mark the first hole and drill it and cleco that top one in place. I'll do the same on that side. That should hold this up. Then I can finagle and adjust a little bit down on the bottom and around the front to make sure that gap stays consistent. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to get this next first hole and clecoed in place there. Okay guys, so as you can see, we got the first cleco in place now, and looking at the distance here, we're right at the top of that skin on that side. And this side, we're at the same spot, and I got that first cleco in place. Now these holes here will be fiberglassed over, and this will give me the room to put this weather stripping along here as well, which will give me a nice clean finish along the cowl here. So once that's painted, this will go on. This will act as an anti-chafing from this to this. Might even give a nice little detail there right along that edge. So that's the plan here. So we got the first one in place. I know the gap is much bigger here, but in my opinion, I think that'll be just fine. There's no touching anywhere. The gearbox is close, but not touching. Nothing else is touching inside here at all. So we still got plenty of space, plenty of clearance. So it should work out just fine still. And what we'll do next is we'll match that top cowl to that. And that closes up that gap. Makes it look really nice. And that part won't be noticed too much. I think I'll be fine with that. So once that's painted and the spinner's painted, we'll see how that all looks. And I might actually even see if I can push that the spinner back just a little bit too. I know it's already pre-drilled, but if I can move it back just behind here, that might give me the little bit less of a gap there. So we'll see how that all works out. I'm not sure. We'll see. But right now, that's where we are. We're going to go ahead and continue and start working on getting the holes drilled on the rest of that hinge there on both sides, and finish getting this clecoed with the smaller size. And then what we'll do is we will then go ahead and fiberglass those other holes and fill them. Like I said, we're going to fiberglass from the inside and then work that out. Now, because I'm thinking about putting this stuff on here, I may need to look at spacing these out. So I might reinforce this area with an extra piece of aluminum along that edge, down along inside here, and we'll get that all kind of taken care of. So, all right, well, let's keep moving. We're going to keep slowly drilling and making sure, double checking, spacing, and everything along the way. So let's keep on working. Okay, guys, so welcome back. So as you can see, I got the first set of holes on that side, and on this side we're good to go. This side meets up to the fuselage very, very, very nicely. Very happy with how that lined up. It covered the gap that I had right along here. We do have to clean up the edge still a little bit, but I'm not going to do too much grinding on that back because right now it covers that edge and it fits nicely. So that's good to go. The gap is constant between all the way around, so I'm happy with that. I know it's a lot of gap there, but I had to do what I had to do to fix this end. Nothing touches still. As you can see, there's airspace around everything, so we're all happy there. This side is giving me a bit of an issue, and I remember Jan mentioning this in one of his videos, that this end right here seems to buckle inward quite a bit, and I might have to go ahead and cut back a little bit here, but I need to be careful because I don't have a whole lot of space down in there to grind that back. So I'm gonna have to take a straight edge, go from here, and just sand back right along this edge until it meets nicely here, because these, I can't get them to get inward far enough to touch the fiberglass. And it's because this section of the cowl actually bulges out more than that side, and I'm not quite sure why. There's nothing here right over in this section. There's nothing here for this, so there's really no reason for that. So I don't know, because this side over here, it fits nicely right up against the skin of the airframe. And I was finding that out when I was putting the pin in. This side's a lot easier to put in over here than the other side. So I'm not quite sure why and what's mainly different about that. So I'm gonna have to take a look, and I will need to, like I said, slowly, and it's not up here. Up here is fine. It's right about midway down, it starts to taper in a little tight right here. This bottom section seems okay. There's a gap down here, but right here it's touching the skin. So this area here is a bit snug. So we'll take a look and we'll figure that out. And then we'll go back and we'll fill these holes in fiberglass on the backside just to give that somewhere to grab. Yeah, so these holes here are already drilled out, and these three, I can, well, not really. The bottom two I can get. I haven't drilled out the second set up here. So these two down here meet up. But when I get that clecoed, it pulls this in a weird way. So those holes might need to be elongated, or I may need to just adjust it and then drill those last with the larger, so that way I can get this to pull back that direction a little bit. So we'll do some final adjusting before we drill the final size here, but it's looking pretty close. Yeah, that's looking pretty close. I'm happy with that. We'll just have to make some final adjustments here. This side is good. And I am thinking about still adding a spacer between this out of aluminum when I rivet these in place, because I want to use that rubber stripping along here, and I don't want it bulging out and making it harder to get that piece in there. So, but that'll give me that anti-chafe along here. But that fits much nicer along this edge here. So really happy with that, guys. All right, so that's where we are right now. I'm going to go ahead and continue working on this. We're going to see what else we can get done on this here in regards to getting that cowl to fit a little bit nicer. So I'm going to have to get my grinder out and do a little bit of grinding over on that side. I'm going to take it really slow, little bit by little bit on that side, and just to and take it off, trial fit, take it off, trial fit, and keep working that until it's looking a little bit better there, because right now that gap, I'm not sure what else I could do with that. Jan, I know you watch my videos. If you can give me some pointers on that, or if anybody else that has a Viking engine with this cowl, what else that I can do to kind of correct that that section there, so I can get that hinge to fit properly. So let me know, guys, and we're going to keep working. All right, guys, so welcome back. So I'm working on the top cowl now, trying to figure out what I need to do to it to make it fit properly on the bottom cowl on where that is at. I'm running into some issues. I'm not sure if anybody else has run into these issues. Probably have, and wondering how you guys fixed it. So let me turn the camera around and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so as you can see, I have the cowl on here. I had to open up this hole. That's going to end up being, you know, with a screen on the inside of it and everything. But I wanted to be able to see, to make sure I'm not hitting anything here. And I'm not hitting anywhere on the fuel pump here, the mechanical fuel pump. However, back in this direction, if anyone remembers, there's a fuel line, and I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see. Let me grab my flashlight. And still not sure if it's going to be able to be seen. But we'll get a little bit of light in here. Okay, so I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see, but the fuel line goes into that banjo fit in there, and it comes back around, and it's right there, and it actually hits the cowl right about here. It hits that fuel line, and we can't have that, because that will vibrate and chafe that fuel line and eventually have a leak. So not good there. So maybe there's an issue and it's touching that fuel line. I don't know. So if anybody knows, if anybody ran into that issue, can you tell me how you might have fixed that? Is there a way of relocating that fuel line in a different angle so it doesn't come up to here? Let me know what you guys think. Put down in the comments below. Jan, if you're watching the video, let me know what you think, what I can do for that. Is there a way of getting a shorter inlet for that fuel line that will bring that fuel fit in right here a little bit further back? What am I missing here? What am I doing wrong? All right, let me know. Okay, guys, so here we are back. We got the top and bottom cowl. Top cowl doesn't fit quite right yet, but I'm wondering if I can raise it up by doing this with the hinges. So what I'm doing with this with the side hinge here, and this might be too long, we'll find out, but I think it seems to move pretty nicely through there, especially once I get to the smaller pin hinge here. Should go through and maybe around this curve. We'll see how that all works out. But what I did is I went ahead and just put the section here in between, and then the top cowl will rest right on this top here. So this section here will still be visible from the outside. I'm okay with that. And maybe that'll give me that little extra space I need to clear the fuel line there. So right now we got the first one in. I'm already cut the second one to the right size. We're now going to do a 40 pitch on the rivets here, and we're going to get this hinge bent and lined up in here to go around this curve as well, and then we'll bend that end to fit the curve. Then we'll put that top cowl back on and see how it fits along this the top edge here, and see if it gives me the clearance I need right here to maintain the proper distance. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and put the center line mark on here and start drilling those holes. And then we'll get the holes drilled in to the side of the cowl and get that cleat in place. So let's get back to work, guys. All right, guys, so as you can see, we got quite a bit done here. So we have the bottom cowl is mounted. We have just with the start-in holes, the 3/32 cleat right now. I did get the top or the bottom hinge in place and riveted, because now I need to start working on getting this top cowl lined up with that bottom. So I got the front lined up where I want it. Now, there is still the issue of this fuel line is touching the top of the cowl, so I need to do something about that. And so I may have to talk to Jan and see what we might be able to do. I mean, I can get rid of the quick connect here and bring the hose right into this and then hose clamp it, but I really don't want to do that. I like these quick connects, but this hose right here, that is rubbing the top of the cowl there, so that's not a good thing. The side over here is looking pretty good too, same amount of gap here. But what I'm thinking about doing is creating a little bit of a piece of fiberglass maybe with some, and getting this all blended in with Bondo. And then that seam here will look like this along that edge. And I'm good with that. I think that looks nice and clean. But if this was all lined up with here, then I end up with a gap up at the top here. So this does need to come down on the back side to fit around the fuselage. So I'm going to have to draw a straight edge following this line here, and wherever it comes across this, that's going to the cowl here, that's going to have to be trimmed down and trimmed back, so that way I can then pull this down and around. But to do that, I'm going to have to get a ratchet strap, and I'm going to ratchet strap around the whole cowl here alongside the fuselage and get that kind of set up. Now, I did notice though when something moved and now my spinner is off center, so the bottom cowl needs to come this way, maybe about a ½ inch or so, and that'll center this back up again. So I'm not worried about that. I can get that done by simply pulling all these clecos out, having someone push over on that side, and then I will match drill through and make sure that they're all lined up with the larger A5 rivets along this. And that'll work out just fine. So we're getting there. It's looking pretty good, as you see. So we'll work on that, and then once that part's done here, I can take all this off, and then it's really just body work to get that looking really nice. sanding it and everything. So once that's done, then I'm going to move on to getting the interior, the doors, the sills done, getting that all riveted in place, doing the doors, getting that clecoed, because the door hinge and everything is going to have to be painted to match the plane, so we'll do that separate. Still got to paint the rivets that are still silver on the airplane, but we'll get all that started, and then I got to make another decal to put right there again, but we'll get that done too at a later date. But main thing is this is all looking pretty good. Just have a lot of trimming, a lot of adjusting, and did I mention I really hate doing cowlings? I hated them on RC airplanes, and I don't like doing them here on the plane on a full size either. It's just a bigger problem trying to get those to fit right. But I think we're going to be all right. We'll get some adjustments. Oh, and also, since I did increase my gap here, I'm probably going to take a piece of some balsa wood, maybe 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch balsa wood, and we're going to go around this edge. We're going to glue it in place. I'm going to do some rough sanding with it to get it to blend in to the cowl. Then we're going to get some Bondo and fill that in to get that space in a little bit less. And then we'll put some 2-ounce fiberglass over that, sand it, Bondo, smooth it out, blend it all in, and I think that'll look really nice then. We're going to get a screen to go in this area here. The bottom down here, I'm not going to put a screen in because the gearbox kind of sticks out right here, and I'm all right with that. It won't be a big issue there, but there is enough space around all of this, so we won't have to worry about anything rubbing or anything like that. So, but should be really nice though, because I can inspect to make sure that I have the correct amount of gear oil in there. So that'll be handy without having to take the cowl off. I'll be able to inspect my starter gears and everything right through this. So that should be fine as well. And as you see, there's plenty of space down there. So all in all, I mean, it's getting there, and we're going to make it look better. So we'll also go ahead and trim this once we get everything kind of laid out and lined up, and we'll get this side done. Then I'm going to take a chalk line and go across to the other side, pull it tight, and then we'll be able to trim this back half to make sure it fits nicely. And maybe on this top half I'll just use this because that'll just give me a nice smooth finish. This side we may just put some tape on the inside, some anti-chafing tape inside here, so where that's touching the fuselage side, it's not going to get it all roughed up or anything. So that should probably work just fine. But we're going to call it a day today. That's pretty much all we're going to do. We're going to get everything cleaned up, put everything away, and we'll start working on that later. But as you see, I do have my cleco in this, the front section up here on that hinge, just to give myself a starting point to start with the pivot in from there. So we'll see how that all works out and go from there. All right, guys, so that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, and don't forget notification bells, so that way you get notified when the next video on the Cricket is coming up. And once we get this cowl done, guys, we'll be able to go back to the electronics, start getting that finished up, getting all my switches wired, and so that way maybe we can get the engine started soon. Probably in the next month or so, we maybe, I don't know, 3-4 more videos, and then we'll start working on getting that engine started. So other than that, guys, that's all I got. Don't forget the notification bell, and visit my Teespring store. Up in the corner, one of the spots, you can get yourself a tumbler, a stainless steel tumbler with the Cricket logo on there if you want to, and we also have t-shirts there. So make sure you take some time and help support the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Keep building and keep flying, guys.